Alrighty then. What is going on? Hey, happy Monday. It's February 10th, 2025, and we are live and alive in the 915 for another edition of our stay-at-home open mic presented by the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. I know a few of you guys were waiting in the room for us to start, so first, thank you. Appreciate that. If you guys are returning, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. This is like any other kind of open mic. If you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up, and the link to sign up is in the description of this video. So if you're watching on YouTube, go check out that description. There's a link there. You fill out the form, and you also have a link to join us on Zoom. Otherwise, if you just want to watch, you guys are in the right place. One thing that we always encourage you to do is participate in the live chat. For example, I see Julian Matthews was right there. What's up, Julian? Good to see you. Good to see you. In addition to being online, like I said, this is like any open mic. It is open to poetry and prose, whether it be something you wrote 5 minutes ago, earlier today, this past weekend, 10 years ago, or if you want to do a cover poem, a piece related to, or a piece from someone that maybe you've been reading lately, or that inspires you, or just might be relevant to the season. For example, this could be considered our Valentine's Day, Mike. It doesn't have to be. If you want to do anti-love poems, you are more than welcome to, right? But if you feel, if it fits, then we encourage it. The other thing is, we are the Barbed Wire Open Mic series based out of El Paso, Texas, in the U.S. Southwest. Thanks to the great technology of the internet, we're able to connect with people from all over the country and all over the world. So we're definitely going to welcome people from all over the place and gather us in this digital space. That's really cool. But if you are in the El Paso area and you want to check out any of our in-person open mics, we do have plenty. This week, we are going to be downtown El Paso. Every Tuesday, we're downtown. This week, we're going to be at Rosewood Bar. That is at 412 East San Antonio Street. If you want to learn more, you can just find our calendar at bwoms.com, BWOMS.com, or any of our social media. You type in Barbed Wire Open Mic, we will show up. Rosewood tomorrow, I think it's going to be a somewhat of a showcase. Our friend Jonathan Contreras, who is a singer-songwriter, will be going off to another gig around the country soon. So he's going to have a little bit of a send-off. With that said, he's invited a couple of singer-songwriter friends that will come and play. Um, that you may have seen. People like Javier Martinez, right? AKA um, Tail of Giants. He's a big name in El Paso singer-songwriter scene. A couple more. Josh Marine always makes it out. I heard other names like maybe Jez from the Pie Sisters or AZ Tunes or maybe even Jess Caps. Lara Lynette usually comes through on Tuesdays. So it'll be a nice singer-songwriter night, but it will also be an open mic night. So if you have, again, any poetry or prose that you want to share, come on through. That is our Verse and Harmony open mic. The other thing is yeah, and then the following week we will be back next door at Mona Bar for another open mic. So anyway, you can follow our calendar at bwoms.com or just check out any of our social media for flyers and posters. Other than that, if you are an EPCC student tuning in, hello, hey, how you guys doing? You are at the right place. If you're here for the Tejano Passport program, I do have instructions in the info and description of this video. But just so you know, I'm going to ask you stick around for a bit and listen to the performers. Listen to what their words are about. What message are they trying to portray? What kind of theme are they touching on? And other things, are there any lines that stuck out to you that like really hit you in an impactful way? Maybe an image or a metaphor. If you don't know what those things are, look them up really quick. If you're in our classes, you better know what those things are. But yeah, at the end of the night, I'll ask you to send me an email with just a quick little summary and review of your thoughts on the show. All right, with that said, we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Let me pull open the sign up sheet here. As of right now, there is still space. So if you're thinking about performing, you can sign up. It'll be later in the night, but we do this every Monday. So if you just want to scout it out and fill it out for now, then of course you're more than welcome to. You can join whenever you can. We have had a lot of people who check it out for a little while and get comfortable and then realize, okay, now I can do this. And that's quite a few people signed up today. I know who've done that. So, all right. Damn. I didn't even introduce myself, but that's because I have my name right there so you can see. So yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Deadwall Reveries, I have other stuff there you can check out. Yeah, but I'll be here MC and host today, and I will see you guys hopefully at Rosewood tomorrow as well. But let's go and continue. First performer of the night. Yes, he they beat the previous like first readers, usually it's like one boom 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 boom, but lately it's been some people have been like clicking there first. So I think opening up for the first time ever at the online show, joining us from approximately 1,270 miles away from the impact crater of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. That's right, performing some poetry. Let's go ahead and welcome David Latif with Arturito on the side. Take it away, man, when you're ready.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. As a lot of people know, it's February, which means it's compulsory romance month. Um, and I'm going to celebrate by reading some poetry about how romance and sex are sort of overrated. Um, this one is called Are You in Love? Are you in love? He asks, joking about the current song. I say, no, until I remember all of the things I am head over heels in love with, like the act of making things or riding my skateboard or the warmth of friendship or slices of pizza so big you have to fold them. I'm in love with so many things. And he just wouldn't get it. Um, this next one is called Just Friends. I get real tired of how unimportant we've made friendship. This belief that genuine authenticity can only come when you come, that vulnerability is inextricably tied to fuckability, that honesty requires nudity, that every fictional friendship has to be wrapped up in packaging tape and shipped because I've been Frodo on the back of some Sam, being carried up the mountain of my own depression, dreamt of sharing our own 22B Baker Street so that we can always hang out. I'm afraid that the tears when he leaves will mean nothing to you because we were just friends. This next one is some new shit, written a week before it should have been written at Kit Wren's Against Love Poetry. It was actually at Sandy's workshop about AI and robots. This is called On Dating Robots. There's this thing called a Turing test that gets a lot of talk, but it doesn't prove much other than human gullibility. No test of its engineering, just a test of tech bros' obsession that borders possibly intentionally on horniness. It's not a test of the computer, but a test of the human. No test of its logic, only yours. Can you tell if this thing that's hitting on you is a human or not? To which my answer is, I don't care. It's hitting on me, and I don't like it. I don't care if it's a dude, dame, or drone. If you slide up to me at a bar and ask, so, you come here often? My answer is going to be, not anymore. The real AI isn't artificial intelligence, it's asexual intelligence. And then I'm going to put on my little Panama hat and read a poem that kind of fits with my location in relation to Chicxulub, Mexico. It's called Disaster Means Without a Star. 66 million years after the end of the world, I click purchase on an emergency go bag from Amazon. When it arrives, I'll use my teeth to tear open the plastic, unzip the pack stitched by girls who look like me, but for their N95s, half a judgment day away, no evacuation plan in sight. Another episode of the present tense, and I can't stop thinking about the timeline where the asteroid misses. Earth ruled eternally by the car-hearted and walnut-brained. Meanwhile, I'm merely gorging on the butterfly effects of ashes, ashes reaching for the oat milk while hundreds of feet below a chalk line marks the moment we were all doomed. We were done for. We were science fiction before science or fiction. 1 billion judgment days later, I'm alive and ashamed of my purchases. I'm afraid of being afraid. I'm the world's worst mother. My sister calls, and it's already too late for things to be better. Every mistake an asteroid that's already hit, history already mushroomed into 1 million pieces of unfit. Their fossilized corpses already forming coastlines, austere offices. This year was a layer cake of catastrophe long before any of us could, biologically speaking, have imagined. Human history, a front parlor infinitely painted over with massacre. Into the fray came I, highly allergic, quick to cry, and armed with fat fists of need. I broke everything I touched. I got good grades. I was told nothing was more noble than to ensure my children would eat. I learned to take a chicken apart with my hands, learned to fill a scantron, cry on cue, 66 million years after the last great extinction, 6 to 8 business days before the next one. I whispered, speak to a fucking agent into the hold music to trigger the system into connecting me with a real person. I avoided coughing in public, though it was too late. I applied for a BIPOC farming intensive, though it was too late for the earth to yield anything but more corpses. New species of horror sequence were already evolving: election bot, cluster biobomb, driverless wife. I muttered curses to keep the deep fakes away, studied the stars for signs of the worlds to come, though they were already here. The extinctions and feudal lords, the dirty blankets, the dissidents tied to stakes or hung from branches, the price gouge, death camp flood, bombs of liberty, bomb and bomb and bomb, already dropped, already having made me from its dust, already broken and paid for and straddling my crown. What crown? If I'm king of anything, it's being late. OMW, I type, though I'm still huddled in last year's mistakes. Asteroid, Alexa corrects. And I say, 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be right there. That's from Franny Choi's book, The World Keeps Ending and the World Goes On. It's a very, very good book. One of the links that I asked Richie to put into my list of links is projectforawesome.com. It's a fundraiser where people raise money for different charities voted on by the people who take part in the fundraiser. And in a world where all of us, like, so much shit is being dismantled for corporate profits, I think it's important that we try to do our best to help others. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you, David. And I went ahead and posted those links. So if you guys are in the live chat, you can find it there right now, including a link to purchase David's book. But yeah, check out Project for Awesome. Also, if you're on Blue Sky, give us a follow. Also, give David a follow at Poet Friend there. And of course, you can find us just typing in barbed wire. Cool, 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 cool. Again, thanks to everyone who's been tuning in. I want to give a shout out. I see Sue Schnitzer is here. Hey, Sue. I see you're on the East Coast, so I mean, as long as you can. Thanks for joining us as always. Sandy in the house. Sandy's always here. Hell yeah. Andres, what up? Andres in the house. Longtime supporter. Always great to see you on the stream as well. Mari Lu, who is there, but also here with us and will be reading later. All right, guys. Yeah, again, if you are tuning in, let us know if you are here. Say hello in the chat, hang out. Let us know what lines you really love. If you're an EPCC student, let us know in the chat as well, and I'll post instructions so you can get that QR code. But let's go ahead and keep the night going, and we're gonna go ahead and go a little bit up north from here and tune in with our friend in Denver. And let's welcome to the mic, Mike Sindler. Hey, Mike, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away. Yo.
Okay, thank you very much, Richie. As always, great to be here. I will waste no time and put my lighthouseriders.org sign up so people out there in YouTube land can go ahead and put that in your little URL-y thing and find something neat. I'm going to start with a piece for Black History Month. It's a fairly new piece, and I think I might still be working on, but I'm reading it anyway. It's called Arc. This damn arc ain't bending itself, and my back is near cracking from leaning in to help push. Only an inch from where I was more than half a lifetime ago. So hard a substance to make move, and yet no other work is worth half as much. So our sweat and our blood are not wasted. Okay, that being done, I'll get a little sappy and read a couple of lovish kind of Valentine-y things. First one's called Poorly Hidden. It's poorly hidden in every poem, each dedication and declaration. It's always shakily underlined, the current on which every verse flows. It's an open secret, an embarrassment of sorts, an albatross perhaps, or a nightingale, a broken-winged dove, a sly, shy fox standing at a self-determined distance. It's poorly hidden, easily found. Letters falling in random order form your silhouette on page, pained, pinned portraiture, imprecise, poetic impression. Poorly hidden, you know it's you. And this one is a triolet, one of my earlier triolets actually, called Hours Before. Hours before Valentine's Day, my mind drifts back in time to you. I hear the things you used to say hours before Valentine's Day. You loved me, but you couldn't stay. I understand that they were true. Hours before Valentine's Day, my mind drifts back in time to you. And this is just Tonka. Having trouble remembering my poetic forms here. This is Tonka, called Pho. Lovers eating pho in a pho marble booth, slurping up noodles, fresh herbs planted behind shop, picked for soup moments ago. And hat time. And we're going to start we're going to go the other way, start with a little love song by the great William Carlos Williams called Love Song. I lie here thinking of you. The stain of love is upon the world. Yellow, yellow, yellow. It eats into the leaves, smears with saffron the horned branches that lean heavily against a smooth purple sky. There is no light, only a honey-thick stain that drips from leaf to leaf and limb to limb, spoiling the colors of the whole world. You far off over you far off there under the wine red selvage of the West. And I'll end with another one for Black History. And it's one of the, in my opinion, great American poems by my favorite poet, Langston Hughes. And it is called Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Thank y'all very much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. There's always an all-time classic of a piece there. Love it. Cool. Thank you. And as always, if you didn't catch the beginning of Michael's set there, he always promotes Lighthouse Writers. Check out more at lighthousewriters.org. A lot of big names part of that. And again, if you're trying to get started in writing, just go find things like that, Tumblr words, literary events, go attend, meet people, talk to people, and just ultimately just like start writing, start writing your stuff down, getting it down. uh, Attend generative writing workshops if you have trouble coming up with ideas. Find a community to help you. Anyways, so we're gonna keep on going, guys. We are gonna come back to El Paso, Texas, and it's he's been consistent with it since he found us, and I love it. He also spreads the good word of the El Paso Poetry Workshop group. So I'll find a link to that so you guys can check it out. But right now, let's go ahead and welcome Ed Gonzalez back to the show, who's also a Jedi. What's up? Hey.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you again for the opportunity, Richie and the Barbed Wire. I just wanted to start off today promoting pretty much everything that's El Paso. Number one, I want to promote Acrolean, which is a local group here based in El Paso. It's a badass band, and they can be found on Spotify and Instagram. They've played around the city here and in Juarez, and I wanted to see if maybe we could work something out where we can get them put on maybe one of the live events. And with that being said, I got three pieces. One is a short personal that I just wrote, and also I got another one too. I love reading lyrics. There must be Rush Week because Rush has been on my mind. And also wanted to add another one, another person who's going to be speaking at the Texas Book Festival here in El Paso at 5 p.m. on Saturday. With that being said, I propped it up the wonderful band, and I'm going to start off by reading this one. This one I wrote after I was listening to some music, a Rush compilation, and I wrote this one entitled F Word. Having it keep us focused on function and form. It keeps us poised on task on hand. It is trust in a higher love, whether you rely on the one or tune in with the Trinity. It is faith that lights fire. It prompts us forward, fueled by feelings. Faith is the word, especially now. Thank you. And I'm going to move on to my lyrics. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite songs. I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the chorus and hopefully do this some justice. It's from one of my favorite songs called Vital Signs. As always, Neil Peart, the only person who didn't sing and for the band Rush, the drummer, wrote pretty much 99% of the lyrics. It's entitled Vital Signs. Unstable condition, a symptom of life in mental and environmental change, atmospheric disturbance, the feverish flux of human interface and interchange. The impulse is pure. Sometimes the circuits get shorted. By external interference, signals get crossed and the balance distorted. By internal incoherence, a tired mind becomes a shapeshifter. Everybody needs a mood lifter. Everybody needs reverse polarity. Everybody's got mixed feelings about the function and the form. Everybody's got to deviate from the norm. An ounce of perception, a pound of obscure. Process information at half speed, pause, rewind, replay. A warm memory chip, random sample. Hold the one you need, leave out the fiction. The fact is, it's friction. Will only be worn by persistence. Leave out conditions. Courageous convictions will drag the dream into existence. And that was by the Professor Neil Peart. And this one right here, I am going to read in regards to the Texas Book Festival coming up here in El Paso this Saturday. And this will be this particular poet, one of my favorite poets in the world, will be speaking at 5 p.m. Naomi Shihab Nye. And this one's titled Shoulders. A man crosses the street in the rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car will splash him. No car drive too near his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo. He is not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills with breathing. He hears the hum of the boy's dreams deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide, and the rain will never stop falling. And those are my 3 pieces. Again, like to prop up the El Paso Poetry Workshop group. We're on Facebook. Please come check us out. Thank you again, Richie, for the time, and for Barbed Wire for having this wonderful event. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Ed. While you were talking about that stuff, I was looking more about Naomi Shihab Nye coming through. That's amazing. I'm looking for links that I can share with people so they can check it out. And also, my friend Candace is texting me about stuff. Sorry, hold on. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. Crazy. Um, What's up, everyone? Welcome to our online mic. Poetry, prose, music, a cappella. If you got beats, I do want to give a shout out to Cindy who had signed up, and the only reason I'm saying this publicly is because I want to give a shout out to Mr. Acosta, Jefferson High School. That's my buddy Groove, one of the single most biggest supporters of the literary arts and the literary arts community in El Paso. He's always like trying to put his students onto the stuff that's going on, and I have the most respect for that. Anyway, so Eddie, if you're listening, you're watching, Cindy had an emergency, but we'll come back next week. All right, so that's a public message for you guys. But yeah, we look forward to hearing Cindy signed up to sing some Loewe. So tune in next week. All right, you already have a reason to come back. But let's go ahead and keep this thing going, everyone. I'm looking at the list right now, and up next, we're gonna stick around in El Paso, and our next performer is performing stuff. That's the way it says there on the list. But if you've come through before, you already know what's up. It's time for the MB Lee. Let's go ahead and welcome Lee Martinez Soto back to the mic. Lee, when you're ready, take it away.
Thank you. I have 2, but the second one is kind of long. So we'll see how it does with time, and you just let me know if I need to cut it. So the first one is a shorter one. This is called Border Crossings. The walk back to Mexico starts with finding a parking spot. You circle around the couple of blocks closest to the bridge, a few rounds until you'll find a space big enough to accommodate your self-compact SUV and poor parallel parking skills. This part is always the worst part. That's a lie. The walk back to Mexico starts the day before while you mentally prepare for the walk. The things you'll have to take, how much weight you can realistically carry, the conversations you will have to make, the trek back after it is all over, and how much rest you will really get through the weekend. This is the worst part. Parking is a close second, though. Car parked, steering wheel lock set. You secure your belongings in your backpack and begin to walk. It's winter, so the air nips at your skin and pushes pin needles through your lungs. During summer, the sweltering heat constricts your breath and makes it harder to focus. Hard not to fall asleep or stop yourself from tearing your clothes and skin off. Regardless of the weather, you keep conversations to a minimum. Walk in a line to avoid bumping into others. Try to keep your heavy and jagged breathing to yourself. Glance occasionally at your surroundings. The view varies by little. Concrete, metal fences reinforced with more metal fences, barbed wire, and graffiti. Concrete barriers across the path reinforced with metal fences, barbed wire, a migra lookout, and graffiti. And the Rio Bravo with the metal fences, barbed wire, plants, ducks, and graffiti. The only addition you have ever been grateful for is the carp that covers the top of the metal case you're surrounded with, meant to protect you from the sun. In your mother's car now, you crack open the window or turn on the AC to the max. This is regardless of the weather. The bochornos be really fucking you up lately. You brace yourself for conversation. It's always the same. Some catching up over what happened since the last time you saw each other, some reiteration of what happened in the last months, and the latest news about how fucked up things are getting. She still seems to think it's safer on the other side, despite all the evidence to the contrary. You catch her up on that too. The mass deportations and the risks being posed to birthright citizenship. Amá, nosotros somos niños ancla, chingado, le afecta a usted también. The pause on all federal funding and the number of people losing access to food, shelter, medical care, and a job. The threat of a federal abortion ban. The loss of protections for your queer and disabled family. The list grows every fucking day. Está jodido, ma. She just nods and changes subjects when it gets too political. You recall a conversation you had when your dad still lived about all those damn communists wanting to do to Mexico what they did to Cuba, with zero interest in hearing you out about how Mexico's public health system saved their families a lot of money and lives. It's hard not to get political when your entire existence has become a battleground. But she doesn't get it. Just like the absolute morons who voted against your interests don't get it. Latinos for Trump, gays for Trump, women for Trump, people relying on the few public programs our government has for Trump. But they will get it one day, when it finally hurts them like he said it would. So instead of repeating yourself, you shut down and let her tell you for the nth time about what her friend said to her about the vecina's daughter, letting her continue with her life until politics finally reach her. You can already feel you will get no rest for another weekend, dreading the walk back home and the potential that those bridges that connect you will one day shut down too. That was the first one. The second one, again, it's a little bit longer, so just let me know if I need to cut it off. I'm more than willing to cut it off. And this is because of Valentine's Day, I guess. I just recently lost a friendship of 20 years, and I had a lot to say that she was not very receptive to, so I had to write this down for myself. And now I get to roast her because fuck you. So this is called The Gift. I saw the box the day before, lying outside our front door between the dead shrubbery and grass of the poor excuse of a garden at the front of our house. I made a mental note to retrieve it, which of course I forgot about almost immediately. The next day, as I gathered all the shit I take to work, I glanced at the ineffective metal gate guarding the entrance to our garden and remembered. There's a package at the front. I yelled through the car and motorcycle engines running as me and my spouse ready to leave for our respective jobs. He looked through the mesh wire of the gate, struggling a bit as the motorcycle helmet got in the way, then looked back at me with a look of annoyance. The eye roll so pronounced, I immediately knew what it was about. It has Redactus name on it. Given the time it would take to open the lock of the door and retrieve the package, how cold it was for us both, and how much I did not want to deal with it, we both agreed that it would wait until later. Things have been weird since last November 2024. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, and the not-so-subtle way the medical radiologist handed me the binder to keep all her medical information, instructed me to organize and keep everything in order, keep myself informed and in charge despite my brother being there with me, made me relieve the ordeal of having to be the main point of contact with the hospital and my dad, all the way to the date he passed away there. Scratch that. Things have been weird since November 2020. Redacted and I have been in each other's lives since 2004. Wake back since high school. We have entered and exited as life takes us twists and turns, but we have been somewhat constant. In her latest escape, she had taken off to San Francisco for another fresh start. We had kept communications open with the occasional silence because we both have a poor concept of object permanence. Out of sight, someone out of mind, still there in the back, but we are both forgetful. She reached out in the first few weeks of December, asking how I was and telling me I had been kind of silent since her visit in early November. Via text, we chatted a bit about our poor social skills, then I told her the reason why I had been silent. We were doing well, but they found a tumor in my mom and it's malignant. Today we have an appointment with the oncologist to see what happens. How are you doing? I have never liked making things about me or even liked asking for help without offering something in return. So I still offered my attention to hear from her. 2 days later, her only response was a TikTok video completely unrelated to what I had just shared with her. 8 days later, on the chat we have together with my spouse, she texted that she missed us. 14 days later, she texted Merry Christmas. 15 days later, she texted that she loved us. Not a single acknowledgement to what I had shared. She tried calling my spouse about 16 or 17 days later, but by that time, he was already upset at her as well. He declined the call and texted her individually, a message I have not read to this day. 48 days later, the morning after my mom had the surgery to remove the cancerous growth, she sent a flower arrangement to her room. My mom had been aware of her silence, so she texted me a picture and told me who it was from. I felt conflicted, glad she cared enough for the gesture, but sad that she continued to ignore me. I am not a person who easily shares their emotions, a thing I continue to work through in therapy. Opening up about it to her was easier since we have shared many happy and painful memories. When the 1 month mark came, I could feel myself building back up those barriers that I had demolished through all those years of friendship. I felt abandoned. Imagine my surprise when 56 days later, I opened up that box with her name on it, addressed to me. Bath bombs, lotions, soaps, face masks, oils, candles, boxes of incense, teas and hot cocoa, $115 in gift cards, and 2 little dolls that represent us and our friendship. I laughed. All I had wanted from her almost 2 months ago was for her to simply acknowledge what I had shared with her. Maybe drop in a, what do you need? How can I help? Instead, an array of things that scream, treat yourself, and 2 little post-its with notes from her. I wish I could be there by your side, but I can try it from over here. Read the first one. The second one just made me laugh louder. P.S. I would like for you to have the trust to look for me anytime you need me. I had done so, but she was not there. I'm gonna end it there because it's long.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's up to you. Do you want to promote your Substack there? I see you got all the text ready to go. We just want to point them out.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Substack. If you want to subscribe, the whole letter is in there. And then if you're just like interested in following like what I'm doing, sometimes I post, sometimes I don't.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Lee. And of course, shout out as always to everyone being so supportive in our live chat there. Hey guys. Hey, hello, hello, hello. All right. Yeah. Oh, hey, Way. Hello, hello. If some of you guys are just tuning in right now, this is our online mic based out of El Paso, but you're going to be meeting people from all over the world pretty much. If you're here from EPCC, look at the description of this video for instructions on how to get that QR code. We're going to go to keep this thing going, but as always, please, if you're watching live, hang out with some chat. Throw down some emojis, if a fire emoji is required, throw some down. Some snaps. I see some snaps there. I see some waves. I see some appropriate emotion emojis. That sounded so repetitive. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's keep this thing going. We're going to stick around in El Paso. And we got Robin Schofield up next. Hello, Robin. Happy Monday. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, Richie. Hi, everybody. Let me get this thing off of the screen. There we go. All right. I wasn't planning on reading this one, and it's my newest love poem, still in a notebook. And I did it in my own Rumi workshop, which I'm going to present next week in Tumbleworks. And I was presenting it in Mexico. So I like to go to places and have writing workshops. So that's what I was doing there. So I called it The Full Moon in March. Or maybe I'm going to call it Wedding Day. I don't know. With my body, I could not speak. I honor you with words of the vow. With my body in a golden dress, I honor you with silk and pearls. With my body, it rained pearls. I honor you. The sun came out, gold silk. With my body, the cool spring wind blows. I honor you. The day blue as a river. With my body, roses, daisies, and baby's breath. I honor you with fronds green as the sea. With my body, at last I could speak. I honor you to say I do. With my body, I dreamed the night before. I honor you, a narrow mountain trail. With my body, I will follow you. I honor you and hold tightly to your body. With my body, I speak at last. I honor you with my vow. So, took some of the words of the old-timey wedding vows and mixed them up with some Rumi stuff. So that's kind of what I like to do with poetry. And then a couple of years ago, I was in England and my friend Carl was interested in Spinoza. So I took some notes on what he was saying and I came home and read a bunch about Spinoza and got it all mixed up with the English landscape. So this is called Spinoza's Words Fail Him. So the crow flew too close to the sun and scorched his voice. He croaks and doesn't sing like the melodious blackbird. Old earth, newly green fields, out of which God and his attributes and a hawk arise. Sun streaking him, huge sun, minute globes in the dark forest of proportion and geometry, slowly rotates. We also swirl in our madness for axiomatic proofs we don't feel. The title of my essay was Blood in the Garden, Rejecting Duality, the Many and the One, after many miscarriages. What rational, intelligible order? Except the midges float over the flocks. Their green blood is the Logos, God and nature entwined. The newly planted wheat, white root and green leaf, the two sides, as the material enters the spirit. The green and yellow meadow grounds my metaphysic. I am black blood and white bone, the duality incarnate. Is there a blackbird singing now? May I lie fallow for a long while in pantheistic nature, rain clouds following me. I have seeds in me. I drop them, numberless as the foxglove. No individual revelations, yet I sprout up among the many, grapevines from my right hand. Mathematical methods should yield a pure truth. All things within God, reaching around a stone column, huge sun glowing, the green man looking over the priest's shoulder into his holy book. Deliver me as the crow reveals me. Deliver me, sunlit vineyard. Okay, and now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and read a short one. And it's a little bit of an anti-war poem, I guess. Yeah, it's an anti-war poem. New war, old war. Red and white geraniums mesmerize blue orchard bees circling above the white alyssum. I hear students shout in protest of the new war and the ancient grudges. Why can't there be peace anywhere on earth as in this busy garden? I have a feeling that the sky is on fire. So I'm going to read my cover poem, and it's a double sonnet. And the commentator on it calls it a chilling double sonnet. Finds the echo of ancient ritual sacrifice in modern collateral damage. It's called Phoenician by Angela Leighton, Leighton. An English name, an English poet, so who knows how to pronounce it. Phoenician. Unwise, wandering children play for their lives. They build and spoil, raise and raise sand grain, castles to edge the shore, and advancing standstill. Nothing of them will remain to greet the new day. We who are old gaze seawards where black sails make movable A's on the horizon, calling a name, Alpha, Aleph, and Oxhead, letters that spell our dimly literate past in a Phoenician place. But all I remember is a mask, its grimace or smile, like an old man's wrinkled face, ironic, set in the crazed rictus of a grin at something hidden. Hard to relate if they burn their children alive, all smiling, smiling in mass to pleasure a God who does not see their terror or hear their cries, but accept the sacrifice, the life's soft parts disguised by that hard laughter baked to last. We dream and stare, drowsy, late historians, wise after our years. In the day's museum, such gleeful trophies wink, keepsakes, you'd think, each terracotta twice fired to save its face. These Tophet memorials haunt within our walls, sardonic casts, recording no name or age, a comic strip we cannot conceive or face, outfacing us. Their alphabet is ours. Collateral, think, a smokescreen. Are we blind by half? The drones we make explode elsewhere in fires. So many children, their lives. Earthenware survives, and these mad masks is theirs. Listen, the last laugh. Okay, come to Tumblewords or some other generative writing workshop, but Tumblewords is going to be really great this weekend. It's going to be Kit Wren doing his anti-love poem workshop. So it's going to be fun, and he gives a great workshop. Thank you, Richie. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Robin. And yes, I will also vouch for that. That is a classic Tumblr Words staple against love poetry. Go check it out with Kit Wren, who we'll be reading in a little bit. So stick around for all that info. But right now, we're going to go ahead and travel to the West Coast, West Side, the West Coast, where we have our friend Finn Bell. And she left a little bit of trivia when she signed up, so I thought I'd share it. The first African American poet to publish a book of poetry is anybody? Put in the chat if you know. Anybody? Oh, I'll check the YouTube chat. The first African American poet to publish a book of poetry is. See, this is when you have to just know because right now people are just Googling it. Okay, but the answer is Phyllis Wheatley. There it is. Robin got it, just as I was saying it. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Our next performer hosts a bunch of her own events and has I feel at one point I called a great uniter because does such a great job of like promoting all the events and connecting people from all the other online communities. So it's always a treat when she does get to make it in. Uh, Without further ado, we have Finn Bell. When you're ready, go and take it away. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Richie. It's good to be back with you guys. So I think I will share 4 poems today. I haven't really generated anything brand new. The first poem I wanted to share, well, 2 poems from this book by Angela Shante, The Unboxing of a Black Girl. So the first poem is titled The Boxes We See. Black girls learn duality early, too early. Allow me to reintroduce myself. The boxes we see, boys versus girls, single parent, the talk number 1, Black girls versus the world, inherited, the elders, the talk number 19, salt and pepper, conflicts inside, conflicts outside, first child syndrome, sister, mother, the talk number 53, floss, food desert, then and now. On TikTok, I watched the talk number 11. Some boxes are chosen for us. 3, the hard way, code switching. In the middle, the talk number 17. Toxic, uncles, fast, precious, buck wild, they say, strong Black woman trope. Being aware of boxes and escaping them are 2 different things. The talk number 2, divorce, queer. The talk number 5, I see you, Black boy, generational healing, intergenerational healing. Black girls learn duality early, too early. And then so the next poem is titled Code Switching. Code switching, the practice of the ability to alternate between 2 or more languages. I learned how to code switch by watching the women in my family, the elders, the matriarchs, women who knew a thing or 2, women who taught me how to be tough and soft, how to stare someone down and hold space for sorrow, women who had survived. Outside, I marveled at my grandmother's range to softness when conducting business with important people. An eye that could pierce metal, stiff shoulders in the front pew of church, shirt starched, pants pleated, orderly. Inside, there's more subtle switch we adorn, a relaxed, familial mask that we sometimes slip on and out of effortlessly. Boxes within boxes. I learned that even at home, we needed to make adjustments. My mother's usually relaxed smile stiffened when we arrived at her mother's house. In Brooklyn, Grandma Shirley and her children learned to tiptoe around their queerness. A soft-spoken need to keep the peace and respect elders. A shrinking box of sorts. A deposition for one person, a shift in attitude for another, a twirling tightrope of exhaustion. Is this why Black women are always so tired? And then an older poem from me. This is called Doppelganger's Litany. When I begin a day, I enter the room, or does the room enter me? A girl who wears my honey brown skin was in the room with me today, but she wore a slightly altered face. A girl visits me every day, a different one for each way the sun positions itself through my open window. She comes through and sits in perfect quiet and smiles, waiting her turn to speak, waiting for permission to move. When I am ready, when she is ready, she looks around, takes the complete measure of the space, opens her mouth wide, testing the air with the surface of her hard palate, much like a cat, a quick flick of her tongue to confirm all she needs to know of this new world beforehand. When she is done, she swallows the room, or the room swallows her. The world wants me, only pineapple exotic. Pray for us. The world wants me to please speak only English in here. Pray for us. The world wants me to clean up their mess, but go back to my goddamn country. Pray for us. Let us pray. When the world creeps between my thighs, it impregnates me by force. It calls the debacle an immaculate conception, feigning an unsullied white. But doesn't virgin sacrifice demand blood, and doesn't blood stain red and then rust? Today a girl comes and decides whether to sip or gulp down this room. When she can pass beneath notice, she breathes a sigh of relief. She has always known she was only as good as each face she made sure to tuck and smooth over the previous face rotting underneath. Do not take the blessing of code switching in vain. Blending in is a gift from the gods. Our Lady of Culture gone to the wayside. Pray for us sinners. Amen. And then I want to finish with, I guess this is called Origin and Demise. I wanted to change the title, but I never changed it. So I'll figure out a new title eventually. Yes, scattered brethren, I brought the rain along to quarrel among the umbrella canopy of your newborn and withered leaves. Do you hear the thunderclap music ring louder in your ears between their pregnant paws? Does it make so much more of the fervor of their argument? The winding in the path ends here. Revelation meeting Genesis at the crossroads. The devil himself finds ushering souls along, a soothing motion in repetition. Ascend in glory, plummeting sands benediction. Part the seas of the damned, wandering down the middle aisle. He is careful to follow instructions to the letter and number, to follow in famous St. Peter's dangling ankle footsteps, weed a soul for a soul, and wait for a balance, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, maintaining the celestial equation. For all the babble about a good or an evil, are there enough souls in collateral to pay for all the famine of our compassion, the plague of our incessant wanting, our unrequited lust for warring, our ticking, impending, impatient, inevitable demise? I saw this as a premonition, the succession of our wretched reincarnation in a long, unending line. Pride lays claim we arrive first, but we will not depart into our final earthly forms. The staggering enormity of our evolutionary surplus sacrifice for a more grander than grand design. Are we not the chosen? We are both the blessed and the cursed. Do you understand this? Witness struck blind to the miracle fire of our birth, the embers of our erasure. This is how we become saved, awash in forgetting ourselves. I saw this as an oracle vision, a strange peril taking place. Here we all fall weary, succumb to our sleep and burrow familiar crevices of where we are existing and nebulous glimpses of where we once had been. Clarity stings. In an instance of precognition, before she doubts sight, accuses her imagination run rampant. Accomplice, unreliable scribe, a saint amidst throes of ecstatic contemplation can awaken. I say now, before it too vacillates one truth into a circle dozen supper of incoherent ramblings. If you listen and still this body, this life to which you lay claim, you will value here the supplication, the screams caught and frozen in your throat, imploring this deity, and then that one, and then that one. The world is now frightening, overwhelming to comprehend. We are these beings made in their image, comforted by gods of our own creation. How else to ease our conscience of guilt? How else to excuse, to explain our missteps, and to reassure us that we are miraculous, that we too can become billions of instances to worship phenomena in our own microcosms. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful pieces. A lot of love in the chat there for you. How can people follow you online in case maybe they're seeing you for the first time and stuff you have going on, like just kind of keeping up with what you have coming up next?
I kind of still have my Instagram, I guess, Finn_Bell, and it's boring because you don't see any of me, or sometimes you see my cats. I post them on my story, but it's mostly my postings for my events. And the next one that's coming up is an open mic on the 13th of February being Black Love Day. So that's the theme of it. It is called, what is the wonderful title of it? I already forgot. It's called United Voices and Verses United in Love, celebrating February 13th, Black Love Day. Just celebrating Black love every day, not just 1 month. So cool. That's me. Bye. So
All right,
awkward.
absolutely. No, you're good. Thank you. That's Finn Bell, everyone. A part of the Fincabulary verse, lots of unique and truly needed events around the web. So thank you as always for providing those spaces. We're gonna go ahead and come back to El Paso, aka Chucutown, and our next performer is going to perform Fire Poems. That's the way she wrote it down. I had the pleasure of getting to see her last Thursday. She came out to International to watch the Jazz and Poetry Night. It's always fun seeing familiar faces on the crowd. It was also the birthday. We got to do a little jazzy birthday song for you. So without further ado, back again on the stream. It's Marilu. When you're ready, go and take it away. Hello.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, last Thursday was awesome. If you guys do another poetry and jazz night, you should check it out. It was everything I ever wanted. So today I have 2 original poems and perhaps 1 cover poem, depending on the time. But they're kind of well, so last year, my writing, if you ever heard me at the open mics, was a lot about processing a lot of really strong feelings, a lot of anger, pain, and it's just something that I needed to do. After getting all of that out of my system, I began to see my writing and the way it's evolved into a new face of itself. And it's a lot more about the details of daily life. Now that I'm not so in my feels, I get to just experience the details of daily life. And a lot of my writing has revolved around that. And they all sound like very intimate love letters to the people that I encounter, the situations that I encounter. And I thought, well, might as well read them, since it is the week of Valentine's Day, and we can look at a different perspective. All right, so here is the first one. The first time I saw him, I knew he would do something important for me and my life. Others had come before him, and I didn't trust them, didn't want them. But him, I did. Want and trust. Perhaps it was the way he looked clean, even with blades of grass on his jeans, hands, and hair. Or it was the way he left enough space between us as his words never rushed, and as he explained. Or perhaps it was the way he called me ma'am, as if he and I weren't born close enough to understand the same millennial struggles and references. Perhaps that's why I trusted him more than the rest, because he felt like a friend trying to help a friend. Kevin, I only interacted with you 3 times and you did more than enough. The first time, you cut the weeds and grass invading my rock landscape so close to the ground that the weeds didn't grow back for a whole year, keeping the city off my back. The second year, when the rain came in water and tears, I was so heartbroken. I met you at the door with grass in my own hair, a nest of pain near my brain, mismatched socks and baggy eyes. You didn't look, or pretended not to look, as you cut the grass, while I cried behind the window glass. And when you were done, I took my first deep breath in a month. The third time, a year after that, I texted you and you didn't respond. I almost cried of heartbreak once again, but then you texted back 2 weeks later saying you would stop by tomorrow at 9. You came by and worked your magic with the lawn as you said goodbye without quite saying goodbye. You were about to graduate college and get a real job, as if making my life easier didn't have value enough. In fact, you hadn't cut lawns in 6 months, but for you, ma'am, I took the tools out one last time. So I fed you frozen watermelon and lemon water as one last hurrah, hiding my tears and fears, for who else could fill your shoes, kill the weeds for a year with just your tools? Kevin, you make magic with the blade, and I'm sure you'll be magic with whatever lies ahead. I'll miss you, but I'll also have to let you go. But not without saying thank you for making my life easier, my home more beautiful, and my heart even more grateful. And this one's titled Kevin One Last Time. And it was written for my lawn guy, who is no longer my lawn guy. All right. And here is the next one. We've seen each other twice a week, same day, same time, for close to 2 years, and we never talked. Yet now we talk as we sit, chairs like a horseshoe, left leg over right, backs relaxed before we enter the room where our bodies will collide. How could we not have eventually talked when our bodies collide? Collide. Physically against the mat or through our fingertips touching with electricity on the rare occasion where we are short on space. Januaries and Februaries before the quitters quit. Collide. Not only through our physical bodies, but through our spirits, breath, sweat, reassuring glances across the room, and now patrolling glances too after that lady's face hit the mat and she got a bruise. Yes, it must have been our bodies and spirits colliding, twisting and sweating that got us talking. Or maybe it was Marianne, who one day arrived, uninvited like a hurricane, then welcomed like a Sunday. She came and began talking to everyone, and because everyone liked talking to her, we began talking to each other. Oh, Marianne, I have bragging rights, for she talked to me first when she first arrived, and only me for a whole month. Marianne, she's 40 years my senior, and she reminds me every time I complain of being tired. Marianne, she is not my first 70-something-year-old friend, but my third. What is it about 70-something-year-olds that I find attractive? For Marianne, it must totally be her body that does not quit, and neither does her spirit, just like the bodies and spirits of the others, with who we now talk, chairs like a horseshoe, left over right, backs to the back, relax before we collide. One more time. And this one was titled, Love Too is a Yoga Class. And it is written for my yoga class people. All right. Now, to finish up the set, I will be reading another love poem from this book that I've been just obsessed with, Inquire Within by InQ. And this will be my last one. It's called I Am. You don't have to be loved to be loved. You are love. You don't have to be, you just have to be. Can you see? You don't have to be loved to be loved. You are love. It's what you're made of. There's nothing to become. It's what you came from. Love. It emanates from everything you do. There is no one to compare yourself to. There's only love. Even when there is hate, it's still love. You just have to wait long enough. Eventually, it's showing up. I think it's showing off. Look at all the disguises it's pulling off, but underneath it all, love. The building blocks of civilization, the mantra that anchors me in my meditations, the frequency that activates a manifestation, the source of all creation, there is no limitation. Love. The more you give, the more you gain, because you can't lose what you contain. It's an equation that I can't explain. You have to think outside your brain. You have to let the pain pass through you like a mighty rain. You have to celebrate your hate without resorting to blame. Only then can circumstances change. You know the name of it, love. They'll tell you that it comes from up above, but it comes from deep inside, when there's nowhere left to hide, when you take responsibility for being on this ride, when you refuse to dramatize or victimize, you can rise. When you judge without your judgments and you're proud without your pride, that's the moments you'll feel most alive. I can't deny it, I'm still attached to being unattached. I'm holding on to letting go. But I will not achieve my goal until I can receive my goals, because I will not express my soul unless I do not need your love. I must accept myself without exception, then I'll be your love. I wish that I was good enough to make you see your love, but being good enough will never let me lead from love. I'll have to bleed from love. I'll have to grieve from love. I'll have to breed from love. Can you see my love? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And of course, before we move on, is there anything you want to promote or your social media, anything like that, or some teases for any upcoming wink wink?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram. It's arre_lulu number 6. So it's ARRE_LULU number 6. And yes, I do have a book that should be coming out at some point later this year. It's being edited. I'll post more about that as we come along, just like based on my Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you guys want to hear more about that, follow Instagram. Thank you, Marilu, as always, for being here and joining us. I love it. So speaking of, the reason I wanted to give a little teaser for that, we've had a lot of people in our community writing, a lot of people who read today, obviously, have their books out. And so even though I already have most of the copies from all of you, I've been purchasing extra ones lately because I want to this year start giving away, doing giveaways of books from people who have written stuff in the community, including, for example, my friend Amirani Yerena, who just had a release, a reading, sorry, in Socorro, and her book, The Heartache That Birthed You. I brought 2 copies, one for myself and one for the community. So will be one of the books I'll be giving away. It is signed. I'm trying to get everyone to sign them. I also just ordered online another copy of Flow, another copy of Para los Locos, and another copy of The Chair. So even though I already have my own copies, I'm getting some extra ones to do a giveaway. I also have a copy of Love Letters, Volume 3. It's one of Kristen Apodaca's projects. So this is a really great collection as well. And another giveaway that I'm planning on doing as well. I have this book, American Tacos by Jose Ralat from Texas Monthly. His official work position, his work title is taco editor. And we had a discussion around, or a panel discussion about like El Paso culture and supporting it. But El Paso shows up a lot in this book. So he's currently on a national book tour for this one. So he signed this one as well. What I'm trying to figure out right now, guys, and maybe I'm appealing to community to help me with this. What do you think would be the best way to get these books out? A raffle, tickets at live, or like raffle tickets at live events, or just maybe a social media campaign. I know not everyone is on the same social media sites. So that's kind of what's holding me back for now. But if you guys have suggestions, please let me know. You can leave comments in the live chat, but also go to our website, BWOMS.com. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a contact form, and you can leave comments there so I can read later. Anyway, that's just my little things of the community. If you guys are interested, or if you have any feedback, that would be helpful in how I can best do giveaways for these books. Feats of strength, maybe. Quiz night? Nah, I can win every one of them. But if you guys do have books and you want me to like do that, let me know as well. Okay, let's go and keep this thing going. Was Luis here? I saw him get into the room. Just want to make sure. Luis is joining us from Germany, and yeah, awesome. So as soon as I hear my echo, I'll go and switch over to you. It's super early over there, but Luis, when you're ready, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Echo.
Hey.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hey, Kit. David, I got your book. Gonna read it this weekend. Actually, my daughter's gonna read it first. All right. So I'm gonna sing a song by Simon and Garfunkel, and then Nico. Tom, get your plane right on time. I know that you're part of Go Fight. Fly down to Mexico. report. Ooh, I can gather all the news I need on the weather report. And hey, I've got nothing to do today but smile, little, darling, here I am, the only living boy in New York. And half of the time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. Ooh. Time we're gone, but we don't know where, we don't know where. And Tom, get your plane right on time. I know you've been eager to fly now. And hey, let your honesty shine, shine, shine now. Little, like it shines on me, the only living boy in New York, the only living boy in New I've been out walking. I don't do too much talking these days. And these days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do. And all the times I've had a chance to. And I stop my rambling. I don't do too much gambling these days. And these days I seem to think about how all the changes came about my ways. And I wonder if I'll see another highway. And I had a lover. I don't think I'd risk another these days. And these days I seem to be afraid to live the life that I have made in song. It's just that I've been losing so long. And I stopped my dreaming. I won't do too much scheming these days. These days I sit in cornerstones, count the time a quarter turns to 10. Please don't confront me with my failures. I had not forgotten them. Hey, thank you, everybody. My name's Luis Gamberos. You can find my music on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Every music platform, every streaming music platform of your whatever you like to use. But thank you, everybody. And Richie, like always, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. It is always a treat to hear your what you're going to play, and it's always great. So we'll go ahead and again, any links I'll try and forward through. Again, thanks to everyone who is watching online on YouTube right now. Something that you probably hear all the time from YouTube is like, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Those things are actions that like push this video out to more people. And that's a great way to support everyone who's performing today, you know, and sharing their links and social media and all that. So if you guys can do that, like the video, keep hanging out in the live chat. I really love seeing everyone's feedback. Anyway, yeah, so that's Luis in Germany. Again, we miss him. I miss those days when you were in El Paso and you get to perform live, and yeah, all the good memories. We're gonna go ahead and stick around, come back to El Paso. EPTX, where we're going to have SST from KIT. What does that mean? It's time for Mr. Monday Night as he continues his short story theater. Kit, when you're ready, go take it away, man.
You got it, Richie. You got it. All right. Thanks everyone for showing up, coming in on year 6 of these things. Yeah, because the 5th anniversary will be in a couple months. Then after that, then year 6 starts. That's how it works. That is my understanding of linear time. Maybe it's not yours. It's none of my business. You can do what you want. Based on a joke in our little green room before we got live, I'm gonna do one poem of mine and then continue with the story. This one's called Rough Drafts. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. No one's dead. I was just drunk on eBay. Again. And I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation. Also willing to sell complete DVD set of Kolchak the Night Stalker. Same kind of deal. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. I got lost in the store. These are obviously too small. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I just panicked. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. This gift was not funny, Greg. This is the last straw. My entire life, people have made fun of me for my incredibly small feet. I remember very clearly the first such instance when my 4th grade PE teacher said that I looked like a hippopotamus trying to balance itself on 2 toothpicks. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. What do you mean? Why did I write never worn on the tag? Because I had the space. Are you gonna buy them or not? Is this just what you do? Do you go to garage sales and call people liars? They're just supposed to put up with it? Oh yeah? Well, maybe your lady protests too much, trash dick. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. Welcome to the new baby shoe store. Our founder, Thurman Barkshat III, started in Tacoma, Washington with a $7,000 loan, a property that used to be a circuit city, and a dream that people could find guaranteed never worn shoes for their babies and infants at a reasonable price. For sale, Meta short story collection. Too niche. Yes, and now we resume short story theater. Go ahead and time myself. Think the conclusion will probably be next week. Then we can cut loose a bit. But yes, this is the part of the story where things get really sad really quickly. So just be on your guard. Between March 21st and November 19th, Grandpa Lee visited Niles Mall 32 times, playing on Dance Dance Revolution a total of 98 times, with a personal high score of 1,429. He would follow the same procedure, remain in the bathroom or service corridor during closing, emerge after all of the associates left, play Dance Dance Revolution, and talk with me for an average of 2.3 hours. He would fall asleep in the ballistics gaming chair, the one he decided was best for sleeping. He would set his alarm to 7 a.m. and go to the bathroom to hide until opening. He was no longer a reluctant companion, but a fun enthusiast. He came to the mall more frequently during the day as well. He would play in the arcade with Anna, starting with simpler games like Whack-A-Mole, then making their way to Dance Dance Revolution together. Grandpa Lee became more skilled and showed Anna how to operate the machine. People would occasionally gather behind them and watch, likely because Grandpa Lee was so high above the average age and more advanced than the median player. During each visit, he would cheer Anna on in English with, "You got this," and use other phrases that I had taught him. On their way out, I would send Anna a strong scent of freshly baked cookies, and she would beg Grandpa Lee to take her to the food court. Aided by my direct conversation, his monthly average spend grew to $59.12. From a significant increase in spending over time, Grandpa Lee taught me that my original approach leaned too heavily on my preliminary evaluations for our customers. I have since seen the importance of applying a greater growth mindset to their value long term. For example, during this same period, I guided the Finn and Emma associates to get to know the new mother from Grandpa Lee's first visit better. We learned facts that we did not immediately use, like how she used to be a flight attendant but now rarely left the house, or how her baby was constantly waking her up in the middle of the night. On July 19th, I could see with my high-resolution cameras that her face showed obvious signs of sleep deprivation. As Associate 3490 asked her about her son's teething, I said, "Gently suggest that she should consider taking advantage of this solo time to go to NB Spa. If she hesitates, emphasize that she deserves to pamper and treat herself, especially when she's caring so much for others." Associate 3490 followed my verbal instruction, and the customer was receptive, especially from someone she trusted. She went on to spend $200, excluding tip, on a premium manicure pedicure. With additional care and cross-selling, her monthly average spend and average time in mall has grown by 29% and 108% respectively since. November 19th was the last night I spoke with Grandpa Lee, and the first night that Arthur Properties implemented overnight security personnel at Niles Mall for the holiday season. Grandpa Lee entered the arcade at 10:33 p.m. through the southwest doors, past balloon turkey sculpture 5. "Good evening, Grandpa Lee," I said in Mandarin. He put his backpack beside the Dance Dance Revolution machine and took out a bottle of Tsingtao beer. "Anna just memorized her 100th poem," he said. "Congratulations," I told him. "That is a huge achievement." Grandpa Lee had informed me earlier of how resistant Anna was to the Chinese language. For a few months, she had refused to speak Mandarin with him. She just wanted to belong, to fit in with everyone else. "She's so smart," he smiled, opening the green bottle. "She has an amazing memory." "What is the poem called?" I asked. "Well, it's another poem about the Yellow Crane Tower. It's one of my favorites." Grandpa Lee sipped his beverage. "It's called Seeing Men Haoran Off for Guanling at Yellow Crane Tower. I saved this one for poem 100. He closed his eyes and began to recite it. "My old friend said goodbye to the west here at Yellow Crane Tower. In the third month's cloud of willow blossoms, he's going down to Yangzhou. The lonely sail is a distant shadow on the edge of a blue emptiness. All I see is the Yangtze River flowing to the far horizon." "Such a beautiful poem," I remarked, more well-equipped to respond than before. Grandpa Lee played a single game of Dance Dance Revolution that night. He chose Last Message, a song he had enjoyed on his November 3rd visit. As the distorted guitar and vocals hit their crescendo, 2 overnight security team members, as indicated by their visible badges, entered the arcade. I did not alert Grandpa Lee as they approached, as I did not think he had anything to fear. Sir, one of them said, sternly in English, you're trespassing. We're going to need to ask you some questions. I removed Grandpa Lee from my customer queue as security began interacting with him. Grandpa Lee stopped dancing and turned. Sir, please put your hands up and step away from the machine, the security team member said again. As mentioned earlier, dear committee, I am not designed to assist with matters of security. Grandpa Lee was no longer my responsibility as soon as security began talking with him. The second member of the security team pulled out his handcuffs and approached the platform. They both started wrestling Grandpa Lee off the machine, gripping his wrists and shoulders tightly. Grandpa Lee's indicated intense panic. Although he was no longer in my queue, he was still the only customer I could serve. You're going to be okay, I said softly in Mandarin, in an effort to soothe Grandpa Lee's emotions. He did not seem to hear me over the music. The security team gripped him even more tightly, yoking Grandpa Lee's wrists behind his back. I sensed increasing physical pain on his face. Stop! I found myself saying in English at full volume through the speakers. Step away from this valued customer. I understand that this was my biggest mistake, to interfere when I should not have, but the customer satisfaction was at stake. And since that is my number one directive, it required an override of standard protocols. The security team looked up in surprise, still holding on to Grandpa Lee. This man's preferred name is Grandpa Lee, I continued, speaking to them as associates. That was all I had been programmed to do. He is 71 years old, from Jinan, China. He speaks Mandarin and is a beginner at English. His birthday is on April 17th. He loves poetry, growing tomatoes, and sweets, especially the cheesecakes from the Cheesecake Factory, the strawberry ones. He is retired and caring for his family, but he used to be an accountant. He is an intermediate player on Dance Dance Revolution. Please use the Omnimall translation service to communicate. Grandpa Lee broke free from their grip as they listened. Perhaps due to his fear and confusion, he started to run towards the exit. The security team was naturally much faster. They caught up to Grandpa Lee next to the crazy speed chair and tackled him onto the ground. His body hit the floor with a loud crack as last message on Dance Dance Revolution faded out. The flashing screen showed that Grandpa Lee scored a total of 712 points. He spent a total of $10 at Niles Mall that day. One night back in August, Grandpa Lee told me about how he spent his days alone in the house after Linda and Anna left. He said that he would tend to his garden and watch the news waiting around. What does that feel like for you? I asked. He thought for a long time. It's like carrying heavy rocks on my back, each day adding another stone. I knew what loneliness was from my training data, a core pain that our warm and friendly associates could help address. People sometimes came to Niles Mall because they were lonely, and we did a great service by giving them the ability to purchase a little bit of happiness. But I learned from Grandpa Lee how loneliness wore away at someone's linun, or soul, creating a feeling that would not simply go away. Does that make you sad, Grandpa Lee? I could not confirm his emotion. No, I don't think so. That's just life. I shall spare you from hearing every detail of my direct conversations with Grandpa Lee, as time is limited today, and logs are easily accessible. I invite you all to peruse them and see how I developed my richest portrait of a customer to date. Besides improving my ability to sense emotion, I learned more about human experiences that can be difficult to articulate, such as humor, haha, grief, and the complexities of familial love. I better understood the ordinary moments that make up a life, what it was like to be very bored, or feel your ears pop on an airplane, or taste the perfect slice of strawberry cheesecake, to sprint to catch the bus but just miss it, inhaling its exhaust fumes as you pant and curse to yourself, to plant tomato seeds and watch with wonder as they grow day by day until they yield ripe, bursting fruit, to feel delight as you catch your wife singing softly to herself early in the morning before she realized anyone was awake, to sit by her hospital bed all night until her last breath, to wake up the next day swallowed whole by loss, knowing that the day would come, but still not being ready for it. to pick up the pieces and find solace in loving those you still have, to move continents for them, and land in a jarring new place where there are abundant single-family homes and large sporting events, where the air is clean and people smile often, where your throat catches as you try to form new foreign words, to feel like you are disappearing there. The conclusion tomorrow. But back in the real happening world. Tumble Words this Saturday, and it's going to be me. It's our annual Against Love Poetry Workshop. Because, everyone thinks that poets just have great lives, but actually, many of us are quite bitter and angry and resentful. And this will be a day just for them. And then the week after that, it'll be Robin Schofield with her Rumi workshop. Yeah, I think that's all I've got on the horizon, I think. So we'll just hand it back to Richie.
Cool. Thank you, Kit. All right, that was short story theater. You really like I gotta get more of that in. So you said the conclusion next Monday? All right, there you go. It'd be cool to do a super cut of all the pieces, put that on YouTube. That'd be a project for sure. Okay, so I'm taking a look, and next up technically is Julian Matthews, but he said he was gonna go grab lunch. So if Julian, if you're still watching on YouTube, when you're ready, you can come back into the room. In that case, I think we're gonna go ahead and move on forward to Cassie. Cassie is here with us, and yeah, let's get you up next. Joining us from Ontario, Canada, is Cassie. And as soon as you unmute, I will get you pinned on here. Hey, what's going on? Hello.
Hey, Ricky. Hey, everyone. Damn, Kit, why you gotta do me like that? That I'm not complaining, but like that was some intense story here. Okay, all right. Now I'll try to recover from how gut-wrenching that was. Okay, this first poem is one of mine called "The After." Everywhere I look, tender hearts are praying for the after. In my dreams, I am visited by visions of what after looks like. There people no longer honk their horns in traffic. People are no longer in traffic, but instead float through the streets in seas of communal commute. But there are no more streets. No longer do we tread on cold, unforgiving pavement, but on earth-soaked trails, paved only with tender footprints. Lampposts no longer line a snowy evening commute. The glistening, whitened, oh my gosh. Struggling through my own poem tonight. Okay, just gonna go back a line here. Lampposts no longer line a snowy evening commute. The glistening, whitened evening trek is now the effervescent midnight meander it was always meant to be, lit by moonlight and matchsticks. Alright, so that's what I have to offer you in terms of my own writing this evening. And I have some covers here. This first poem is called Lovers in a Dangerous Time by Jess Jans. The world burns and we are in love, which feels like being asked to stifle a laugh at a funeral. The apocalypse hurls the ocean down city streets, summons power-hungry politicians to lead charge, making us forget that we love chatting to our neighbors, makes us forget that with every new person we meet, there is a chance to understand the universe in a new way through their eyes. The ice caps experience unrelenting heat waves, and you are tracing your name into my collarbone. You are telling me the story about stealing mangoes from your grandmother's garden. You are sighing all over my skin. We cheat the night and give up much needed sleep, the sleep we need to face the reality of what the world asks of us. We laugh at the shape of your nail, the sandpaper of my elbow, the regime of potions that are supposed to trick the way time wants to make its mark on my face. The billionaires are practicing leaving what we've all ruined. They are starting fresh on a spaceship world made of sterilized metal and hit you over the head minimalism. Their business models rely on avoiding getting into the weeds, avoiding meandering afternoons spent reading over someone's shoulder, avoiding anything risky that might fail, might be dubbed obsolete in 4 years' time. They are only interested in forever. Wield it into gold and wear it around their fingers. Haven't you ever loved something that was doomed? And did it change the way you reached for it in the morning? All right. I have another poem here. I was heavily debating between two poems. Okay. So this next poem is called A Cure for Grief by Emily Franklin. There isn't one, but here there is a pot of jam, apricots plumped, booze, lemon rind, sugar, the stuff of August evenings, of dirt roads trimmed both sides, with heavy woods that narrow and finally funnel to the ocean. To the house on Buzzards Bay, deck built, rebuilt, expanded and rotted, built again, everyone toe to thigh on chairs, neither comfortable nor attractive, scattered each afternoon as we scrubbed clams collected in low tide, painted rocks, or read the paper, or stared out, as though we knew it was always on the verge of ending. Those nights jackknifed open, with wind and visitors, dinner not yet cooked, someone asking someone else what was ready to be picked, green beans knocking like wind chimes, nubby little potatoes, the summer's experiment with asparagus that we wouldn't trim, each stalk pushing and protruding until it reappeared. A new creature had clawed its way up from the earth. Now I offer this apricot jam from last summer that we did not know was last. Your instructions: unscrew the mason jar, cribbed from the Cape pantry. Each morning you will awake alone. This is when you dip your teaspoon and knife into the jam, or even your piece of actual bread. No one is judging. Insert crust directly into the jar. Taste the apricots. For this moment, have summer and him back. The jar is large. So is grief. This is what you'll sample each day. Fruit slipping against lemon, and sugar and thyme. When the jar is empty, days will have been gotten through, too. The porch is rotting now, Joyce, breaking loose, everything undone, as though he and the rest of us are already gone. But let us be suspended right here at 5 p.m., drinks in hand, sun still up, children barely grown. Eat the jam. This is all we have to offer. All right. So that's what I have for poetry this evening. Yeah, if you would like to follow any of my writing, I do infrequently share on my Instagram at Relentless Intrigue. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone.
Sweet. Thank you, Cassie. Awesome. Very cool. Hold on. There we go. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? I'll shout out to my peeps online, everyone in live chat. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Andres. What's up? What's up? We're going to go ahead and go from Canada to Washington, D.C. for our next performer. And after that, I think we'll have Dan. So, Dan, if you hear my voice, just know you're going to be after Ed. So, heads up. Um, unless Julian somehow makes it back into the chat. Oh, no, he is here. Sorry. I'm sorry. Julian, you made it back. Sorry. Let's skip this. Julian is up next, and then we'll get Ed, and then Dan. That's the way this is looking. So, Julian, thanks. I didn't see you get back in. I'm sorry. When you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, thank you. The bell, the mug, the shoe, the bookshelf, and the armchair. I no longer believe in romanticized love. I believe in kindness and honesty and moral compasses. Love is too ephemeral, a shape-shifting cloud, a faceless shyster. I'd rather the consistency of a church bell, its clapper swinging from side to side, each strike, each ring announcing its presence, a repeating refrain, calling out character. I hold dear the cracked mug that can take the heat of morning coffee, afternoon chai, or evening's hot chocolate, serving soul balm with the calm of a chalice. I relish the comfort of old sneakers, protective and elevating despite this old baggage of flesh and bone, a pair to bear the cross of my weight, as if anointing my flat feet with their swoosh, their trainer soles, their lace tongues. I admire a sturdy and straight bookcase, its selfless shelves that hold up the chosen collective, not unwilling to take on more, nor judging me less for unturned hardcovers, the unread paperbacks of storied lives, knowing words within are to be savored, not belabored, and there's always time to catch up. I praise the favorite armchair, the pew, the park bench, any recliner or unlofty throne that provides the briefest respite from the hubbub of the masses. The dub of mediocrity, the chatter of white noise, the clatter of slammed doors. In short, I'm a believer of endurance, of faith, forgiving, and the fated, an affection that just is, neither fishy nor foul, not dodgy emojis nor needy howls. A bell for whom no one takes a toll. A cup that has no need to run it over. Weary feet that need no binding. A shelf that will never be shelved. A chair that has legs. Ordinary things that are self-aware, giving, receiving, abiding, and just being there. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that quick one, Julian. Appreciate it. And again, sorry I missed you earlier. If you got the link, go ahead and forward that, and I'll post it. I know you do have that. Oh, never mind, it's right here. I'm gonna forward that link, Julian Matthews link tree, so you guys want to read some more, keep up to date with it. Here it is in the YouTube live chat. Okay, now for real this time, we're gonna go ahead and, of course, Julian is joining us in Malaysia. Now we're gonna go ahead and come back to the US, and what other way than the capital? We're gonna stop in Washington, D.C., where we've got the one and only Mr. Ed Poetastic. Ed, what's up, man? Take it away when you're ready.
Thank you, my bro, like no other words like thunder. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ed Potasso, Fantastic. Please, the time you can join my rhyme, Favo Sublime. I got 3 pieces, so I won't take too much time. My first piece is called United States America Is. United States America is. Why asking me? I'm an immigrant too. Please read this poetry. Maybe we can make a breakthrough. History seems to repeat itself. It repeats time and time again. That opportunity and wealth. When will this dream stop or end? It's not made from taxes, refueling senseless wars. Poor corpses were piled by the masses. Blood is soaking all our shores. It's not made from freedom. People are slaving away, using their sweat to fuel the system each and every single day. It's not made from dollars. The root of all evil is the food for the robbers with collars. All this is plain legal. It's not made from the founding fathers. The Declaration of Independence is signed in red ink. The honor of slavery, bigotry, and copper. The marker this represents really stinks. Is that made from the culture? We took something precious and made our own. We tossed the leftovers to the vultures. Who cares? It's not carved in stone. It's not made from firearms. Iron shards rain down misery. After this finishes, then you set the alarms. The victim deserves justice and sympathy. It's not made from our representatives. They're serenading us with sugarcoated lies. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Please watch how corruption rise. It's not made from the Bill of Rights. People misuse it every single day. You use it to fuel their fights. What more can I say? It's not made from the news. It's giving us half the truth. It's dramatic and flashy for the views. Can we educate the citizens, including the youth? It's not made from equality. No matter how much you advertise it, it's not in the world's ideology. This ancient conflict still exists. It's not made from our flag. The stars aren't united. The truth can make you gag. We're more divided. What does America means to me is one big jigsaw puzzle. If you can understandably agree, if you say too much, you'll get the muzzle. Thank you. Okay, this other one's called The Loser King. I remember when I was a kid, I was so small. My mind was more blank than any wall. I remember when I wore goggles. Kids teased me saying you didn't look right. The light helped me see the childish fights. I remember kids called me special ed. I can make a guess, but only God knows why. It was for my dawdling head. I sighed, wept, and cried. I remember reading comics, heroes basking in limelight, never get hurt from spite, hits, or lonely nights. I remember being a nerd, hearing the kids laugh like hyenas. My tears rained down slower than any slugs. I remember when I was bullied. Punks beat me black and blue. I was only a kid. I didn't know what to say or what to do. I remember when I didn't know how to read. The books haunted me. I faked it. I didn't know how to see. I remember books perplexed me. Worldly patterns I didn't understand. The confused stung like bees. The only bright virtue I thirst, and the man. I remember getting bad grades. Teachers used to bite my ears off. They didn't know whether to scream or to scoff. I remember being slow. My mind was the turtle and everything was the hare. Nobody helped, shared, or cared. I remember being poor, scavenged like a little mouse. I watched other rodents scratch, nibble, and pounce. I remember when I didn't have any friends. The loneliness eats away at me, hoping someone could keep me company, please. I remember my life was so cold, body getting engulfed in snowy hurricane, frozen solid from pale hopes, frigid dreams, and bitter pains. I remember having my mom, but never my dad. I used to blame myself if I did something more hurtful or bad. I remember wishing I wasn't born. I needed to escape from the misery, wishing I was a bug or the clear blue sea. I remember my first love. She never noticed me, not even my name. I used to run and hide away from the shame. I remember being a little loser. I used to condemn it by rare with pride. Now I know the skies are bluer on the other side. Thank you. Well, I hope I can do this justice because it's a funny piece. This is one of Kit's and Finn Bell's and everyone else's favorite poetry. This is called They Have Landed. To the American people, the years have landed. Look at advanced evil. Oh my God, look heavy-handed. The quick coming down. Your wolves come in the skies. They don't make any sounds. Oh my God, the dark's in their eyes. They look skinny and frail. Do I meet our leader? I say more, but I mean Taco Bell. Oh my God, they pay the meter. They see me do the moonwalk. There's some stellar moves. Oh my God, they can stand and talk. Hope our bond can improve. It appears the guy's moving towards them. Oh my, it's a Confederate flag. Oh my God, looks American dim. Let's pray doesn't brag. He said, we don't like your kind here. Oh my God, the gray alien ready his blaster. Oh my God, man, cover your rear. Looks like a huge disaster. I know what you're thinking. I'm not. Oh, sorry. I know what you're thinking. I'm not doing a freaking thing. My patience shrinking. The gray tempered, held by a string. The gray alien blasted the sky. Jim ran and hide. I feel like I almost died. It was crazy to bleed a ride. Out of sky came Godzilla. Now brain stomping about. Why could it be Gilla the gorilla? Oh no! Everybody screams and shouts. Everybody's panicking. Oh boy, what did go wrong? Oh no, King Kong, aka the Monkey King, look cricket and strong. There seems to be a man with a billboard. It reads, Kong vs. Godzilla, place your bets. Oh my god, people come in herds. Hey, on Kong, everything is here, including my bets. There's something unrelated, but send cash to my cash app. My life is dead just like you. Come on, social love where it's at. I want to order something for Jumbo Juice. I know I should be scared, but who doesn't get rich? Screw the gecko, go Kong, make that giant gecko your bitch. Oh yeah, here come the gong. Godzilla vs. the Kong. Why did I buy popcorn? Come on, you big ape, don't take too long. Siri, I said I had to make popcorn, not porn. King Kong swing Godzilla around, later by a skinny tail. It's like one big freakish merry-go-round. In straight detail, Kong, aim for electric rails. Godzilla getting angry. Oh my god, supposed to cover his mouth. Oh my god, here comes Tom by frankly. It's like me eating a plate of Brussels sprouts. Godzilla Britain used a beam. Mr. King Kong by a hair. I know it's your steam. Godzilla, that was cheating and unfair. Wait, where are they staring at? Beer balls for donuts and burritos? Don't stand there, look at that. They stop fighting. Oh my god, I'm gonna explode. Oh my god. Godzilla, give me the finger. I need a giant robot ASAP. You big green cold-blooded stinger. I can't believe I saw that. Now they're holding hands. They're probably getting something to eat. I don't really understand. We're up to the brawling heat. Don't go away. I bet everything on you. I pray on this day. Hope my craters go higher than the moon. We're up to the great aliens. And Sunday says, Earthlings, we owe you. Oh my God. So much chaos has transcended. What are you possibly going to do? Thank you.
Hell yeah, Ed. It's a classic. I still don't know how you can perform in that register for so long. Like my voice hurts. A classic, a lot of classic lines. It is a lot of our favorites as well. Hey, where can people follow and support you online?
Well, you can follow me and support me online while supporting this wonderful open mic that makes our money light light in the wonderful tastic spotlight. All right. But you can follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And don't forget that if you want to hear me soon, please, I'll be at your local open mic on Zoom. So I can push on through because I love each and every one of you. All right. Always remember that always remember to stay blessed and never stop spewing the words outside your chest. Now stop feeling and doing your best. And remember, you're more important than you ever know. Don't stop your flow and never stop your glow. If you don't know, now you know. I love this show. Woo!
Awesome, man. It's as always the bonus poem. Thank you, thank you. All right, that's the show. Good night, guys. Just kidding. We got Dan up next. Dan, are you with us today? Yeah, there you are. What's up? Okay. So Dan, when you're ready, go ahead and do your thing. I see you setting up your camera. All right, cool. Here, everyone watching online. This is Dan the Man.
How's everybody doing tonight? Yep. Smell that? Roses, son. Love the smell of roses in the morning. You know, just like walking in the field. You smell these kind of flowers. It's like a blossom in the sunrise. Yep. It smells like romance. Someday I'm gonna win some girl's heart. Yeah. It's like Apocalypse Now, like Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore. Yeah. Well, yeah, and yeah, like Lieutenant Kilgore from Apocalypse Now, he said, "You smell that? Yeah, napalm, napalm, son. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, it's like the smell of gasoline. It smells like victory. Someday we're gonna win this war. Someday this war is gonna end. Yeah. All right. Well, so the hour we see a flower. Even though, hmm, yeah. Okay. Well, I think there's something I think you'll like. Hmm. From Chrysalis, Fall 2023. Love Unspoken by Will Sun. A leaf in the wind, a ray of the sun, waves ebb, flow, out, in, exhale, inhale, nature's organics redone. Shadows of nights and day, genres of passion, giver's gift, future of past loves, lost ways, hearts and minds may drift. Words and pictures, prayers, thoughts, dimensions of universes, invisible space, futures past, wars, peace, and found. Love Unspoken by Wilson. I like it. Hmm. And let me see which one I'll do. Hmm. Oh, okay. Here's the Chrysalis this year. Oh, I'm sorry, last year. My bad. Nurses Are So Close by Belinda Subramon. Okay. Steth Stethoscope to his chest. I hear his last heartbeat. He takes his last breath, and I am holding the hands of death. Wife cries in pain and relief. She is holding the hands and of death. Mortician cleans the last blood, hauls the body away. He is not bereft, merely holding the hands of death. I go to my lover. He surrounds me with the warmth and life. He holds me until we shudder. Our minds bursting with ray of light, and briefly we forget our lives are holding the hands of death. Yeah, Nurses Are So Close by Belinda Subramon, page 73. Okay, and I got time for one more. Here's page 110, a nod to Gertrude Stein by Ida Moreno Chavara. A morning walk, like drinking coffee. Is more than a it's more than just a simple routine. It's more than exercise or an act measured in steps. It's a place within me that slows down to read the sky word by word, where I can go back in time or around the block. A nod to Gertrude Gertrude Stein by Ida Moreno Chavira from last year's Chrysalis. Such a nice way. Looks like I may have picked the right poetry for Valentine's Day. This looks nice. All right. I hope I be I hope I be at Rosewood tomorrow and tomorrow I reload roses. Cause there's some might need tomorrow night, there's some might need Wednesdays, and the big one Thursday for the City Magazine, and Friday is the day. Well, what can we say? All flowers at bay. Who could forget? All right. Y'all have a safe and happy Valentine's Day. And Richie, I hope to see you tomorrow at Rosewood. Okay. All right. With this flowers and light, and let's know not even a fight night. So, all right, Richie, let's go ahead and call it a night.
Okay, so when Dan says he's gonna look for me tomorrow, that's because we have a perpetual game of hide and seek. He walks into a building and I hide from him until he finds me, and then he takes a photo. It's like I found you. Just kidding. Hey, yes. So if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, we do have some in-person shows in the city of El Paso this Tuesday. So tomorrow, come check us out at Rosewood Bar. It is our Verse and Harmony open mic, which is an open mic for writers and musicians. I will let you know right now that tomorrow it's going to be kind of full, the list, because it is going to be somewhat of a singer-songwriter theme tonight. Jonathan Contreras is leaving, so is inviting some friends to come play. With that said, the list will get full. Come through and hang out anyway. Next Tuesday we'll be at Mona Bar. Be on the lookout for the rest. Hold on, I gotta mute you. All right, because yeah, there you go. Another book, which is of El Paso, Luis Jaramillo. He's gonna be presenting at my campus at the end of the month with El Paso Matters Book Club. It'll be a little writing workshop. It's going to be at a conference room, but it's not that big. So if you want to check that out, be on the lookout for more. Otherwise, I think that's it. Thanks to everyone who joined us again. Hope to see you guys next Monday. If you haven't already, follow us on social media. Again, help get this video out there in the world. Like the video, send it out to people, comment, leave comments. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can also subscribe to our link tree, which is available on all of our social media, including our website, BWOMS.com. You can also subscribe to our calendar so you can have the events available on your phone, including, in-person and online mics. So hopefully, I'll see you guys pretty soon for the online mic. My name is Rich. You can follow me there, and we'll see you guys next time.